Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Week 4 episode of MoodTube. Now, before I get to talking about the Week 4 of the NFL season, I've got to first address the biggest story in the sporting world. Yes, it's Derek Jeter's last game at Yankee Stadium. Now, if you're one of my friends or you've heard me talking about the farewell tour, you know that I'm horribly against it. The whole thing with those specialized cleats and the patch on the arm, it's absolutely ridiculous. But having said that, I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm very much looking forward to his final farewell at Yankee Stadium. Last year, the game, Mariano's last game at the stadium, when Pet and Jeter came out, it was an absolutely incredible moment. And while Mo is Mo, Jeter's still a different thing when it comes to the Yankees. So if that's what they pulled out for Mariano, I can't wait to see what they pull out for Jeter. If you're a fan of baseball and you're not looking forward to seeing the ceremony tonight, then something's going wrong. As of now, I'm looking out my window. It's not raining, so the game should be going on tonight, but let's see what happens. It would be pretty ridiculous if his last game at Yankee Stadium just got rained out, and it would suck for all you fans who had paid so much money for tickets. Now, having said that, let's move on to Week 4 of the NFL season. First, I want to let you know how I did last week for my picks. I went 5-6 on my Sunday picks. I hit on the Cowboys -2. I hit on the Saints -10. I hit on the Colts -7. I hit the Cowboys. I hit the Cowboys Rams over, and I hit on the Chargers +2.5. The only game I missed was the Giants. I had the Texans winning, and that hurt me a whole lot. So I'm going to stay away from betting on the Giants against the Giants for a little while. Now I'm going to give you 7 bets for this week for 7 different games. The first game I'm looking at is I'm taking the Packers, giving up a 1.5 over the Bears. Yes, the Packers did not look great last week. Yes, they're 1-2. Yes, their running game has been awful, and Eddie Lacy hasn't been doing anything. But they're playing at Lambeau Field in a divisional game, and Aaron Rodgers just flat out owns the Bears. As Big Cat from Barstool said, Aaron Rodgers is in his head because every single time they play and Aaron Rodgers is on the field, he just lights the Bears up. So I'm taking the Packers. I think they're going to win this one by at least a touchdown. I think my boy Eddie Lacy is finally going to get his fantasy season started. I'm taking the Packers. I think it's a pretty safe bet. Next game I'm going with is the Colts giving up 7.5 points over the Titans. Andrew Luck and the offense finally got things going last week. Granted, it was against the Jaguars, but still, I think they're going to keep it moving this week as well. The Titans are going to possibly without Jake Locker, which means if he's out, that's Charlie Whitehurst starting. I don't think I like him leading this offense against the Colts. Colts have too many weapons. I think they're going to blow out. Even if Jake Locker plays, he's going to be injured. He'll be limited. I think the Colts are going to handle this one by at least 10 points. So I'm taking the Colts giving up 7.5. Next game I've got, I'm sticking with the favorites. I'm taking the Steelers giving up 7.5 points over the Bucks. There's a chance that the Bucks come out and play really well to make up for that absolute embarrassment last Thursday night, and they do have a long rest, but I just don't see it. The Steelers finally put things together last week against a good Carolina defense, and I think they're going to keep that train rolling. They're not going to put up the kind of numbers that Matt Ryan and the Falcons did last Thursday night, but I think they're going to score some serious points, and the Steelers defense has been playing pretty well. I'm going to go with the Steelers giving up 7.5 points. Still, staying with the favorites, I'm taking the Chargers. This is an easy bet. I'm taking the Chargers giving up 13 points against the Jags. Like it was last year, you take pretty much every single team that's playing the Jags, no matter what the spread. The Chargers, Philip Rivers and the Chargers are playing great. The Chargers defense is playing well. Even without Ryan Matthews and Danny Woodhead, I still expect that Donald Brown is going to have a good game on the ground. Philip Rivers is going to light it up. The defense is going to shut Blake Bortles down. The only thing you have to be worried about is some garbage time, last minute points by Bortles. But still, I like the Chargers in this one. Chargers giving up 13 points. And so now moving away from the actual spreads, I'm going to give you 2 last over-unders. In the Cowboys-Saints game, the over-under is 54. I don't like either of these defenses this year. The Cowboys have looked a little bit better last week, especially in the second half. The first half was awful. I think that it's just going to be a high-scoring affair. Roma's going to put up points. Des Bryant's going to do well. Terrence Williams is going to do well. Maybe Jason Witten finally finds his way into the end zone. As for Drew Brees, he's going to score some points. It's not going to be like last week against the Vikings. The Vikings have a pretty good defense. Their defense is better than the Cowboys. I'm taking the over in this one of 54. And now for the last bet of this week, it's another over. Eagles 49ers with the over at 55 and 50.5 is the over under. Look, the Eagles' high-scoring offense has put up at least 30 points in every single game. And with the exception of the first game, which was against the Jaguars, it all came in the first half, they've given up at least 20 points. So I think the Eagles are going to put up points on at least 30 points on a damaged 49ers, on a damaged 49ers defense. And I think the 49ers are going to do well. I like the 49ers to win this one. And as we've seen, the Eagles have a horrible defense from that game last week with Kirk Cousins, the Redskins versus the Eagles. The 49ers are going to put up points. The Eagles are going to put up points. If you've got fantasy players in each of these teams this week, play them. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. So, again, take the over in the Cowboys game. Take the over in the Eagles game. Take the Packers minus 1.5. The Colts minus 7.5. The Steelers minus 7.5. The Chargers minus 3.5. And there's one last game that I forgot to tell you about, and that's that I'm taking the Falcons minus 3 over the Vikings. The Falcons looked great last week on offense. They're going to be playing they looked great last week on offense. They're going to continue it this week. Teddy Bridgewater looked good when he came in, but still, without Adrian Peterson, their offense is just not going to be enough to be able to keep the Falcons from beating them by 3 points. The Falcons do give up a lot of fantasy points to running back, so if you've got Asiata, play him, but I'm taking the Falcons giving up 3 points. So that's it for this week's episode of MoodTube. Make sure to check back tomorrow when I give you my keys to a Jets victory on Sunday over the Lions at JetLife Stadium. Just remember, you got to check out the Tube because I've got those sports for your every mood.